3, guys. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to James. We're gonna go back to James chapter 2. Okay, so we know James is in the New Testament. Okay, so we're gonna go to the back of the book and we're gonna find James. Okay, and if you look in your contents, you're gonna see page 531, I believe, for James. Now this is a different Bible. I mean, it's the same Bible, but you know, some Bibles come in little words, you know, and then some come in big words. So it's not going to be on the same page, okay? But in my book, it's 531, okay? And it shows it at the top of the book, 531. Okay, so James chapter 2, 21 through 22. Okay, so it goes to say, was not Abraham our father justified by works when he was offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Okay, so we just read in Genesis that Abraham was the father of Isaac, and Isaac was told to go and do something specific. Okay, he was told to go somewhere specific, and that there would be blessings upon blessings based on Abraham's obedience to God. Okay, based on Abraham's works. Okay, we didn't talk about much about the works, but he put in works. He did certain things, and because he did certain things, God promised him some amazing things. Okay, and so it goes to say, what is it? James 2, 21, 22. Okay, so that's what it says. Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? That was the work that he did. He offered his son Isaac to God on the altar. Okay, now granted, guys, if you know the story, you know, he was supposed to slay his own son. Okay, and I don't know about you, but I don't know if I could slay my own son. And God told me to slay, if I had a son and God told me to slay him, you know, that's some faith. If that's not faith, I don't know what it is, for you to take your son up to a mountain to slay him because God says so. Okay, that's faith, right? That's works. Okay, that's doing something based on your faith. You're not just going to do it just because. You got to have some faith to do something like that. So, James, where is it at? 21, 22. Okay. So now it says, seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect. Okay. So his faith was made perfect through what he did. Okay, and because of that, God made a promise to Abraham. Okay, all right, so moving on. Romans. Now I told you guys there's 17 scriptures and 53 verses. I don't know about you, but I've been to churches where they might read 2 verses the whole time you're there on Sunday morning. And that's it. And then the rest, they're talking about whatever they're talking about. With this church that I found, there's resources. And the resources are scriptures and verses of the Bible to teach you about the Word of God and how this thing really works. It's kind of like a machine, you know. If you don't have the instructions for the machine, how are you supposed to work the machine? And that's, me personally, is what I had problems with when I went to church. Is that I didn't quite get the full picture about this thing called the Bible. And I didn't understand. And when I would go to my pastor and I would ask questions, I got the same answers and I still didn't understand. And then I was looked at like I didn't know what was going on. And I'm looking at them like, do y'all know what's going on? Like, who does anybody know what's going on? And that's just being honest. And so, you know, I I continued to search and search and search, and I came across the Israel Church of Jesus, located in Gary, Indiana, and they're actually in other places like New York, LA, uh, Cincinnati. I mean, they're spreading out. The Lord is working. And they even have a school for kids from K to 12, you know, and it's amazing. And I'm blessed to be able to be a part of that and to share what I learned, because that's even more blessings when you can share what you learn and not keep it to yourself. So when I come across things like this about works and faith and what is it, what stories in the Bible connect to it, what's going on, I get excited and I want to share it. And I find that a lot of people don't want to hear it, so I'm making these videos to share with those who do want to hear it, to share with those people who are seeking the truth of God and that want to be able to get close to God and learn more about God. And so you may be, titled as, an outcast or someone that doesn't fit in because you're not going along with the game. You're not going along with what everybody else is doing. And so if that's you, I want you to come on over here and we could be an outcast together. Okay? And it's okay. So Jesus was an outcast. Okay? So if Jesus was an outcast, why is it not okay? Why wouldn't it be okay for you to be an outcast? Right? So I think that might be the title of my my YouTube page is Outcast. I kind of like that. I think that pretty much resonates. I really do like that. So anywho, let's move on. I'm on 7 minutes now, and now we're gonna move on to Romans 2:13. Okay, so let's move on to Romans 2:13, and this is in the New Testament. And Romans 2:13. Okay, and it goes like this: For not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified. Oh, this is amazing. So this is saying that it says, for not the hearers of the law. So it's saying, okay, you can hear, right? And then it says, for not the hearers of the law are just before God. But that doesn't mean that you're just before God. So you can hear all day long, but it doesn't mean that you're just before God. Okay? But the doers of the law shall be justified. So the works, so the hearers and the doers are just before God. Okay? So you want to be a hearer, but not only a hearer, you want to also be a doer. You want to have works on what you're doing. And it's part of the reason why I've created these videos is because I have to do some works. I've got to share. It doesn't matter what's going on. If you want to do something, you're going to find a way to do it. Okay? In my mind, in my desire, in my heart, I want to go and I want to share the information by going to the people and sharing the information, because I like that face-to-face contact when you're engaging with people about something so amazing, the Word of God, right? It's a time to congregate and to fellowship, right? But if you don't have that opportunity, you have to create one. And this is what the videos are all about. This is the opportunity that God has given to me, is to share through videos until I can get to the point where I can share in person the Word of God through Bible study. And so the hearers and the doers, you want to be a doer, okay? All right, moving on. Romans 3:28 through 31. So it goes to say in Romans, and what I like to do is I like to, we have these scriptures, okay, that we have on paper or, the internet. You can download it, save it. And when I read the scriptures, I like to highlight the scriptures so that it's easy for me to go back and read and stay on task with the scriptures that I have already studied. Okay, so Romans 3:28 through 31. It says, therefore, we conclude that a man is justified by faith without the deeds of the law. Is he the God of the Jews? Oh, hold on, wait a minute. We already read this, didn't we? Hold on. Matthew 19. Okay, so now we're going to Matthew 19. And this is in the New Testament, okay? So you want to go, it's toward the back of the book. New Testament, Matthew 19:16 through 19, okay? So, okay. Moving on to part 4, I think, because I'm on 11 minutes and 20 seconds. I really want to be able to upload these videos. So meet me on part 4, okay? I'll be back.